Whoa. Oh, well.
Twinning with Amy and Melinda.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
She forgot the song.
Whoa. You might notice that we are in a different location. Sorry. I get carried away. We're going to light candles. There's a candle here. You probably won't even be able to see it, but we'll light it. Oh, can you even see this other one?
No.
We've got our props. Oh, there we go. We got our hand. Hello and welcome to the channel. Sorry we haven't been here in a
Is
while.
that light supposed to be on?
Oh yeah. Let's get shed some light on the subject. Just start talking.
Okay, so we...
Wait a minute. So apologize first for not being here last week.
Yeah, sorry we weren't here last week. We did a bunch of B-reels.
Yeah, that I just haven't combined them yet.
Yeah.
Because it's such a pain in the neck.
We got some very funny videos of my son and his friend watching some of our videos, and they were dying laughing.
Which, by the way...
They were laughing, and I think they were laughing at us, but we were laughing,
yes.
So it was therefore laughing with us.
Which, by the way, we are totally doing this for fun.
Yeah.
So if it's not fun, we're not going to do it.
Exactly. So anyway, like at one point, my son said, "Mom, you're just doing this to increase your fame." And I said, "Fame? Ooh, we've got fame." Okay. So anyway, so we have had multiple paranormal experiences.
Oh, go like this. You see my scary stuff back there?
So, I thought
so we're going to tell some ghost stories. Yeah.
So when we were growing up, we lived when we moved into our house, we lived down the end of a street that was covered with woods. There was woods everywhere. We were the only house on the street for a few years. And we were down there all by ourselves, and Melinda and I shared a room. And so when it first started out, it was
the very first thing that happened was super creepy.
So this is how it started out. Let me say, we had our room set up, and I'm not really sure why we had it set up like this, but we had our room set up so that we had little twin beds. My twin bed was literally right next to the closet, which we kept the door shut.
We hated that closet.
That closet, for some reason, I was so creeped out and so scared by that closet.
Literally from the time we were small children, we called that closet the vortex of evil. I mean, even during the brightest daylight, you would not want to go in there.
You wouldn't go in there.
It had this...
And, oh, by the way, my parents built the house, so it's not like this was an old house or anything.
But we did find out something, but we'll get to that later.
But so it was so creepy, and I'd be sitting there, and I could barely ever sleep because my head was right next to the closet, and literally right next to the closet. So anyway,
remember that time I pushed you up the bed?
But that's when we were in the other room. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So when we switched the room around, so we moved our beds to the opposite side of the wall, like across from the closet, I made sure that Melinda got on the other side, and I am really glad I did, and we'll tell you that story too. Okay. So it started out just so I was being creeped out by this
the vortex of evil.
By the vortex of evil, and do you want to tell what happened the first thing that happened?
Yeah. So one night, and it wasn't even completely dark because our mom made us go to bed at 7:30 even in the summer. Which is that true? That's how I remember it.
I remember it 6:30. So
no, it is not 6:30. But so anyway, and Amy was across the room in her bed, and I was in my bed, and she went, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. And then
we hear it again, and I finally said, "Melinda, will you shut up?"
And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
And I said, well, I'm not doing it. And we tore out of there. And in between our beds was a dresser. And sometimes we would hear knocking in between us, or
that's me,
scratching.
Oh yeah,
in
scratching.
between us. And
So
again, the
Kristen-
same thing would happen. We would say, we'd start yelling at each other, just please shut up so we can go.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, and so Kristen, our younger sister's bedroom was down the hall from us, in between us and our parents' bedroom. And she said she grew up hearing us running by, screaming. And so this happened a lot. This is when we lived down this street all by ourselves. So
then we, I don't know what's, well then we moved our bed so that we were across from the closet, and I got closest to the door to the room because there was no way I was going to do that.
And I didn't want to be there, but I thought, well, I'm far enough away. My feet are towards the closet as opposed to my head.
Okay.
Which is
right. So one night, you guys, these are true stories.
Mm-hmm.
These are true, and we do not talk each other into these things. These are true stories. Twinning with Amy and Melinda. So one night, okay, and at the end of our beds, we had these, we call them desks, but they were just basically little end tables.
Yeah. Everything was antique. Everything that we grew up with was antique, which could be.
Yeah. So they were at the end of our bed, and we had little chairs, and one night, I heard Melinda making noise,
rummaging around.
So I looked up and I see Melinda sitting at her desk, like moving papers around and moving stuff. And I'm like, ugh. And I was really mad that she woke me up. So I'm like, Melinda, shut up and go to bed. And I just kept saying, Melinda, come on, you're really disturbing me. And then all of a sudden, Melinda answered me from my bed.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the times we ran screaming. But another time after that, and I don't have any concept of time, I was awakened by Melinda rummaging around on these little teeny bookshelves. Also,
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, by the end of her bed.
Right next to the closet.
By the closet. And the desk was by the closet.
Yeah.
And when I looked, and there was someone, I thought Melinda, like kneeling down in front of the bookshelves. And then when I said,
our
Melinda,
ghosts must be literate and like.
I know.
Yeah.
So I looked at Melinda was in her bed, and this time I didn't even say anything to her, and I just went under the covers because at some point,
what are you gonna do?
How many times can you keep, running down the hall screaming?
Okay, so tell the Native American girl, and then we'll tell the story in the middle of the day. So tell that story.
Okay, and then we'll end on the story of when I was up in New York State visiting Grandma and Grandpa.
What?
This, we'll tell you. Okay.
Why'd you do that?
Because it's scary, and I can't believe you don't remember this.
No, I remember it. I thought you were saying
no.
you gave something away. Okay.
No, it's terrifying. Okay. Oh, but let's quickly say that the basement was also a total vortex of evil, and if you had to go something, especially in the winter when it was dark, you didn't do it. And
and it was finished. I mean, there was a bedroom down there. There was a bathroom.
It was a nice bedroom. I would have loved it but it was too terrifying. Nope. And one time we actually had a couple of years we had Halloween parties, and we had
we always had Halloween parties.
And we had haunted houses in the
in the basement,
in like a closet in the basement, and things would literally move.
Not a closet. It was like a storage room.
Well, yeah, but whatever. Like, do you remember that
the spider that would
jumped? Like, there's no.
Yeah.
It didn't have suction on it. It jumped. So it was scary. Okay. So this is one night. I was probably about. I don't know, 13, 14, something like that. Oh God. So it was time to eat, and we were and it was winter time, so it was dark. It was probably about 6 o'clock. It was middle of winter, and it was dark. And we were in the kitchen, and then I realized that I had to go to the bathroom. So I went all the way, because the closest bathroom was the bathroom in our hallway, between the two girls' bedroom. And so I went there, was in the bathroom, and when I was washing my hands, I heard footsteps walking down the hallway. And this was in the 70s. we had shag carpeting.
Yeah.
So those of you who lived through that era know the unmistakable sound of like footsteps on shag carpeting.
So let me tell you about shag carpeting real quick. After you vacuumed it, you have an indoor rake and you rake it to make it stand.
Made us rake the damn shag carpeting. Anyway, you should have seen the carpet in the basement. I wish we had pictures.
We probably do. We'll find it and share. It was
so
something.
I heard, but for some
anyway,
reason,
so she heard someone walking down
and for some reason,
her hackles got up.
Yeah, and so I was like, anyway, so I'm walking down the hall, which the hallway light was on, and I walked by my sister Kristen's room, which there were no lights in her room, so it was dark. This is not a lie, there was a girl standing there looking at me, standing kind of a few feet into Kristen's room. She had braids down the side, maybe about this long, pigtails, and was wearing a dress, and I couldn't see any features because it was dark, and I ran so fast, because there was a door to the kitchen, why the door to the kitchen was closed?
Because it kept it was a temperature regulation thing.
Oh yeah, because it wasn't much. So I banged up the door. I said, "There's a girl in Kristen's room." So we're like, "What?" And I said, "There's a girl in Kristen's room." So
we all went running. There was no girl in Kristen's.
Dad, to get to the hallway, you had to go through the family room, and we had a fireplace, and so Dad got a fireplace poker,
which,
yeah, for years we always said,
Dad, what were you going to do
with a fireplace poker? But then the Michael Peterson story came around, so. Okay, so
let me start this one.
So, that was so scary.
Okay, so.
And by the time we got there, obviously there was nothing there.
She wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, come to find out, before we tell that story.
Tell them.
Come to find out that once other neighbors started moving in around us, we ended up finding out that land that we had our house on in the neighborhood used to be an Indian village, Native American village. So we think that it probably was
the presence of a Native American girl.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was creepy.
Okay, so now this story will tell you took place at the same house, and this was all in Raleigh. We live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So it took place during the day, during the summertime. So
I want to say it was like a Sunday afternoon. It was very bright. Bright. It was.
See, I don't remember it as being bright. I remember it was light, but I remember it being overcast.
Oh, well.
Well, memories, whatever.
Yeah.
But
it was broad daylight.
Anyway,
that's my recollection.
So I was down. There was a patio that went into the basement.
The creepy basement.
And then above it was a deck. Because the land sloped, the deck was really high. I think they said 16 feet high, so it was stairs. So I was down. Okay, Pecan. I was down petting my cat Pickles, and just kind of chatting with her and petting her, and all of a sudden she got real stiff and started looking around like this. I'm like, "What's the matter, Pippa? What's like?" She was scared.
Okay. In the meantime.
What? So yeah. In the meantime.
Pecan is not a black cat, so should not be a part of this video.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So, I was in the kitchen sweeping, because I was tasked with sweeping the kitchen. And when I was sweeping, I heard someone walking down the deck stairs.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Let me finish my bit. Yeah. So Pippa starts going like this, and then I heard the sound of someone walking down the wooden stairs
above
me.
her head.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, meanwhile, I'm sweeping, and I heard someone walking down the stairs, and I just looked up out the window, and I fleetingly see a figure on the stairs, which were directly out from the window, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. Well, I was not scared because it was broad daylight, so I dropped the broom and ran around the kitchen table and ran out to the kind of back door to see what it was.
And it was gone by
and there
then.
was nothing there. And Melinda was under the on the patio under the deck, and she said to me, "Hey, who was walking around up there on the deck?" And I'm like,
Yeah. So we had 3 witnesses on that. We had the cat who sensed it ahead of time. We had me who heard it, and you who saw it. So that's another thing they say that people that can sense or have contact with supernatural or paranormal entities. Some people can just sense them. Some people can hear them. Some people can see them. And I don't know that I've ever seen anything except for just very fleeting it, but I know that you have.
yeah.
And we actually have some more stories that we'll tell if we do another one this month. But we'll finish off with this.
Well, why don't we just keep that story till later?
Okay, well, go ahead. Oh, keep that other story till later?
Yeah, you said there's other stories. What other stories do we have?
The house on Ruffin Street.
Oh yeah, no, we'll keep the New York one then till later.
Okay,
So
we'll
keep
keep
it tantalizingly waiting.
Woo!
Double toil and trouble. Okay, so sorry that this is not really that scary, but honestly,
But it's fun.
it was scary at the time. So
And I will say that fortunately neither of us has had many experiences recently, which is good because even have you?
no,
Good.
not that I know of. They say that after a while, a lot of people start to
You lose the
the ability,
All right.
which is good.
I don't know if you hear that beeping, but that means our porcupine meatballs are ready. So, see ya.
Bye. Peace
Oh,
out.
wait a minute. Say what you're supposed to say.
Oh, she wants me to say like and subscribe and share with your friends.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.